Welcome to Yaka Digital Network. Take a second and look at the school uniform you might be wearing right now. On the map, point to exactly where you think that shirt was actually made. You might be surprised. The cotton for that shirt was likely grown by a farmer right here in East Africa. But instead of being made into a shirt nearby, that raw cotton was exported to Asia to be woven into fabric, stitched in another country, and then shipped all the way back to Africa for you to buy. Let's map out the money. The farmer sells that raw cotton for a few pennies, but that finished shirt is imported back and sold at a high retail price. The overseas factories that process the fabric capture almost all of that extra profit. This creates what is known as commodity dependence. When a country only sells raw, unprocessed materials, its economy becomes completely dependent on the daily global prices of those goods. If the worldwide price of raw cotton drops, the local farming economy suffers immediately. A nation does not build lasting wealth strictly by the crops it grows or the minerals it digs out of the ground. Real economic strength comes from building the capacity to process those raw materials into finished goods at home. The direct solution is industrialization. This is the active process of turning raw materials into finished products locally, using our own machinery and labor. This flowchart shows the industrial value chain, illustrating value addition. Step 1 begins with raw material, like coffee beans harvested on a Ugandan farm. As those beans move to Step 2, a roasting plant, and Step 3, packaging, the economic worth of the coffee increases. Completing these steps locally creates specialized jobs. Finally, at Step 4, the packaged coffee enters the retail market. Selling a finished product captures maximum profit margins, ensuring wealth stays within the domestic economy. There are different types of industries driving this change in Africa. The most common are agro-based industries. These are factories like sugar mills or flour processors that take farm produce as their primary raw input. In contrast, heavy manufacturing industries produce items like cement or steel. These rely on minerals and require significantly higher technology and more money to start. Whether it is processing sugar or melting steel, successfully moving an economy from farming raw materials to active manufacturing is the proven way for African nations to improve their economic standing. If processing goods locally creates so much national wealth, why aren't factories simply built everywhere across the country? The reality is that factories require highly specific conditions to survive. The first factor is proximity to raw materials. A sugar processing plant, for example, must be located directly next to sugarcane farms because raw cane is very bulky to move and spoils rapidly once it is cut. The second critical factor is power. Modern industrial machines require massive, continuous streams of electricity. A frequent loss of power can ruin expensive equipment and halt entire production cycles, which is why many factories are built near major energy sources. You will also notice that factories rarely operate alone. They actually prefer to be neighbors, clustering together in designated industrial parks. By grouping together, these businesses share the costs of the things they all need. They can use the same high-voltage power grids, the same heavy-duty roads, and draw from the same pool of skilled workers. Successful industrialization requires deliberate planning to align raw materials, massive energy sources, and shared infrastructure in one location. Right now, Africa faces challenges in making this happen. Rapid industrial growth is held back by the lack of reliable electricity, a shortage of specialized technical skills to run automated machines, and high transportation costs. Let's test how you would solve this. Imagine you are the government minister of industry, and you have a budget of $100 million to jumpstart the economy. You have to make a choice. Option A, do you spend the budget building 100 miles of new rural roads to help local farmers reach the towns? Or option B, do you use the money to build a fully government-funded industrial park with guaranteed 24/7 power and water for new textile factories? It is actually a trick question. Both are absolutely required. Option B directly starts the manufacturing, but without the new roads in option A, those factories will never receive the raw cotton from the farmers. Breaking the resource curse requires an interconnected ecosystem. Reliable infrastructure, active farmers, and modern factories must all work together to keep the value of our resources right here on the continent. Thank you for watching. You can watch more videos for all classes here and get all content at www.yaka.cc.